In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 steps on how to build an AI voice agent software as a service in just minutes and why this is one of the most important skills to learn in 2026. So if you want to make passive income, gently tap the like and subscribe buttons and keep watching until the end, because I promise that this video will contain valuable information you won't find anywhere else. Here's how to build an AI SaaS in just minutes using Gemini 3 Pro. First, we're going to run the prompts in Gemini 3 Pro, and that's already going to give us a working product to start out with. After that, we're going to deploy the app so that people can go ahead and test it, and that only requires 1 click or so. Finally, we need to create some content so that people actually know what we're building so that they can go ahead and test it out and tell us their feedback, what we can improve next time we work on it. And why is this so important? Well, it's important because we can get started with just $0, so there's absolutely no excuse to not learn this skill. After that, there's extremely high potential because with the traditional AI voice agents, you can probably only manage 10 clients or so before you get basically outscaled, right? But with AI software as a service, you can potentially reach millions of people. And since it's so scalable, literally there's pretty much no difference between you being able to serve 10,000 people as opposed to 1 million people with AI software as a service. So obviously extremely high value potential and also obviously earning potential there. And number 3, this is actually my favorite and the one that I think is the most important. It's going to teach you all the skills that you need to be a successful entrepreneur, right? It's going to teach you how to basically identify a need and then build a solution to fix that problem. And then also connect the people who need this solution with the actual thing that you build. So this is absolutely important. And I recommend that everybody learn this skill in 2026. So step 1, go to aistudio.google.com and we're going to click on Vibe Code Gen AI Apps. Now, real quick, if you're not familiar with vibe coding, what that means is imagine you're a CEO and right next to you, you have a $100,000 a year software developer right by your side, and you can tell them to do whatever you want, and they're going to say, yes, I'm going to do it right now. And that's basically what Gemini 3 Pro is right now. So let's go ahead and click on Vibe Code Gen AI Apps. Here, you can go ahead and describe your idea, but I recommend that you actually don't try to basically reinvent the wheel. I recommend that you use something called Discover and Remix app ideas because Google has already built a bunch of different projects for you to build off of, and you can even monetize these if you want to. So let's go ahead and click on Browse the App Gallery. Here, you're going to see a bunch of different projects. And up here, there's a bunch of different categories. I recommend if you get some time, just go ahead, check out each of these products one by one and just see if you can provide any value to the world by using any of these, right? And so the one that I would recommend right off the bat is these beautiful landing pages, right? As you can see, you can create nice, like I like this one a lot. It's just a nice websites in just 1 minute with just a couple English words, right? And so, like, let's say for me, for example, I used to have, my relatives used to own a Chinese restaurant. So if they were still running that, I'd just be like, hey, aunt, I can build you a website and I'm going to do it for you for absolutely free. And she's obviously going to say, yeah, that'd be lovely, right? And so I would set that up for her. Obviously, that would be another addition to my portfolio. So the next time when I see a business owner, I can be like, hey, I'm going to build you this for you for just $1,000. Now, keep in mind, most web developers, they charge like $3,000, $4,000 for a website. If you're able to vibe code it in 1 minute for $1,000, they'd be happy to work with you. Okay. So that's just one example. Now, the one that I'm more interested in is this one called Gen Media. Since obviously, so VO is like a video AI that's going to create a lot of different like content creation. Like if you're in the business of creating ads or something like that, you can go ahead and check these out. Now, for me, since I'm an expert with AI voice agents, I'm going to be using conversational agents. And the one that we're using today is going to be Audio Orb, because the point of this is we're trying to create a product that can utilize AI voice agents in order to solve some problem, right? So let's go ahead and jump into this real quick. And so here we can go ahead and see it loading up. You can go ahead and test it out by just hitting allow, and you can go ahead and test it out here. It's basically like an AI, but it moves. Okay, I'll just test it real quick. But hey, what's up? And it's just going to respond. I'm not going to waste time with that. But basically, you can go ahead and go over here, and this is where you can prompt the project, and you can do things like, okay, well, improved error handling, or improved recording indicator, or change the background, things like that, right? So you can go ahead and start with a really nice working product, and then go ahead and build on it from there. And so what I want to go talk about now is like, if we were to just use this, obviously it's not going to have any competition. It's not going to have any edge over the competition, right? You can easily go to ChatGPT and they offer a really nice AI voice agent for you to talk to. Now, the point where this becomes important is, so just some fun fact, I'm learning Vietnamese just for fun. I already speak like 4 different languages, but I just love learning languages. So I was trying to learn Vietnamese and I was looking for a tool to help me learn it faster. The problem is there are not very many good tools out there. Like you can go ahead and try to speak Vietnamese with ChatGPT, it's not going to do a great job. And so what I realized is, okay, well, if I can use this and if I can adjust the AI prompts to make it act like a Vietnamese tutor, and then later on, like if I were to give it to a bunch of test users and they'd be like, hey, could you add this feature for me? Could you change the background? Could you do this? And blah blah blah, right? And if I was able to do that, I can basically create a really nice product that is basically better than anything else on the market out there right now. And basically what that means is it's a really high potential idea. If you know anything about business, you probably can already tell it's easily a business idea worth millions of dollars. But obviously it requires a lot of execution in between, but we'll get into that later. But the point is, okay, well, we have an AI voice in here. All we need to do is we need to adjust it to be able to be a little bit better at for the purpose of teaching a language such as Vietnamese. Now, why did I choose Vietnamese? Obviously, it's just what I'm learning, but also Vietnamese turns out to be a really good example of a language that's not so saturated. Like if you were to do something like a Chinese tutor or something like that, it probably wouldn't work, right? Because there's just too much competition. But in the case of Vietnamese, at least for the research that I did, there were no good competitors out there, right? So if I were to build this, I know pretty much for a fact that it would get a lot of traction because obviously now with how Vietnam is developing, there's a lot of demand of especially Westerners, especially Americans going over to Vietnam. So there's a lot of demand for it, and there's not a lot of supply. Like I said earlier, there were no good competitors. Anyways, enough business Q&A. Let's go ahead and jump into this. I've already written a prompt. I'm just going to show you real quick. Let's go ahead and paste it in real quick. The prompt says, to make this suitable for learner Vietnamese, the things that we need to do to add are, number one, speech to text for both the AI and the user's last response. So why did I do this? Well, the thing is, as I was testing it out for the purpose of learning Vietnamese, I found that it's better if I was able to actually see the content on the screen as it was being said, right? Because a lot of times the AI would say something I wouldn't know what it's saying. So then it's much better if it has the words appear on the screen. Number two, answer suggestions to the AI's last response. So a lot of times, since my vocabulary when I'm first starting out it's not very good, right? I don't know what to say. So then I realized, okay, well, if I can just have AI tell me what I might want to say, then that would make it a lot easier for me to learn new vocabulary, right? So to me, that seemed like a very kind of no-brainer and a very helpful thing to add. And finally, click to translate. Clicking on any Vietnamese text should toggle the English translation below it. Only keep the most recent conversation turned on the screen to prevent the chat from overflowing the screen. Instead of forcing me to click to translate every time, automatically translate the AI's response to English. Okay, so the point of that is basically a lot of times it's going to say something where I don't know what it means. So if whenever I click translate on a word, I want it to translate to English so that I know exactly basically how to learn or what that word means. All right, so it looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like it added a toolbar here that says Vietnamese tutor. And I'm guessing this is going to be where it's going ahead and it's basically storing the chat history. Down here, it has buttons to go ahead and get started, a revert button, record button, and a stop button. And it says connected, start speaking to learn. So let's go ahead and test it out. Chào bạn đang làm gì á?
Chào bạn, mình đang sẵn sàng trò chuyện và hỗ trợ bạn. Hôm nay bạn muốn học hay thực hành tiếng Việt như thế nào?
Yeah, cảm ơn bạn. So let's go ahead and turn it off real quick while we analyze it. It looks like it went ahead and uh, gave us the chat history. Like I said, what will be important for us to basically understand what he said, because it was a little bit fast, so I couldn't catch exactly what he said. And then it looks like it just took a couple seconds to translate it. So, which is great because that's kind of what I had in mind is it would basically give me the information in Vietnamese so that I can go ahead and see if I understand it. And then after that, give me a couple seconds where it translates it automatically so that I can basically, if it is a word that I don't understand, I can just translate it to English, and so I can learn new vocabulary. And then so that crosses off that requirement there. And then at the bottom here, it looks like it's going to go ahead and give me 3 different answer suggestions to how to answer this question. So basically what I did was in the AI prompt, I went ahead and changed the AI prompt so that I can say, okay, well, at the end of every sentence, make sure to ask me a question. Okay. And the reason why I did that is so that I can force it to ask me a question. And then here I can force it to give me answer suggestions, right? And this is a really good way to just keep that conversation rolling so that the conversation will never stall and die. So That's absolutely beautiful. As you can see, each of these are very different. It's not like it's saying the same thing over and over again. It gives a lot of variation, and it looks like it would be very, very fun to kind of just go ahead and continue talking to this project over and over again. Okay, so that's absolutely beautiful. It did exactly what I wanted it to do, and so that's what I'm trying to say. This whole Gemini 3 Pro thing is absolutely amazing and beautiful. All right, and so again, over here, we also have the option to add additional effects. So at any point in time, you can just go back in here and add another prompt and basically continue building off what is working, right? So here, let's say if you wanted to add a different personality, I guess, or like maybe change the background, you can go ahead and just say it using plain English here, and it'll be able to do that in just a few minutes. So, anyways, that looks like we just successfully finished number one, which is run the prompt based off of the audio orb um, project that Google has already provided for us, which is absolutely amazing. And then, so all we need to do is number two, which is go ahead and deploy. So you just go ahead and hit deploy app here, and it's going to deploy that into, just go ahead and create a new project and deploy it there. And that's going to give you a public URL. And then that's going to be basically what you test it yourself, obviously, and then also give it to your friends or give it to just put it online so that people can go ahead and visit it. And that's going to be number two. And then I'm not going to get too much in the detail into it because it is kind of a little detail, but just creating content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then just try to make it as interesting as you can. Try to get people to test it out, and basically from their feedback, that's how you're going to know how to improve it for next time. Just make it the best product that you can, and that's going to be basically how you create a really nice product. So that is basically how you build an AI SaaS in 5 minutes or so using Gemini 3 Pro. It's super easy to do. Now, if you have any questions about AI prompting, AI voice agents, anything like that, go ahead and feel free to ask me any questions that you have in the comments below, and I'll be very happy to help you out. Also, if you want like more guided teaching, just go to my school community. You can ask me whatever question that you want. I teach you everything about AI and AI voice agents and AI prompting and Gemini, all of that, right? You can ask me any question you want. You can ask me about, your business if you want consulting for your business, whatever. I'll do my best to help you out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a good one.